to us. It's 7:20. Uber and the unions, after the company's court battles, it is now working alongside one particular union to put pressure on other taxi services. Dom has more details.
Yes, Michelle, you heard that right. Uber, which for years insisted its drivers were not workers but self-employed, is today with the GMB union calling on other ride-hailing services to do the same, recognise drivers as workers. Uber only did this and recognised the GMB union shortly afterwards, after it lost a case at the Supreme Court earlier this year over the status of its workers. Jamie Hayward is the Regional General Manager for Northern and Eastern Europe at Uber. Mr Hayward, good morning. Given your company did fight very hard to not recognise its drivers as workers, is this call not, to say the least, hypocritical?
Good morning. Yes, so, I mean, as you say, the Supreme Court decision that happened earlier this year gave us a path to do what we've been committed to do for 5 years, which is improving flexible work by increasing the protections that drivers also have. And that was something that was not available to us because of ambiguities in the law. But as the Supreme Court clarified the law, we acted, and so now all Uber drivers are eligible for holiday pay, pensions, and guaranteed minimum wage. And the move we made there then opened up what might seem like an opportunity for an unlikely partnership with the GMB, who we've had a relatively difficult relationship with in the past. But actually, you know, I met with Gary Smith and many of the union representatives yesterday, and, you know, what we share is an absolute commitment to try and improve the standard of flexible working across the industry.
Aren't you rewriting history there? You're saying that you wanted to do this for a long time. The first court case about this to try and get you to give the drivers all those benefits you talk about was in 2015. So for nearly 6 years, Uber did all it could to not do this, and it was Uber that appealed to the Supreme Court, not the unions or the drivers' representatives.
That's true. The difficulty that we have had is as you know, UK employment law is extremely ambiguous around the point of who's an employee and most particularly who's a worker and who's self-employed. So
yeah, and you were exploiting that difficulty.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were looking for the mechanism, which is clarification of what worker status means, to be able to act, and we acted. And when it clarified, because it allowed us to keep the flexibility that drivers value, but also provide them with the protections that they deserve. We've moved, so all of our 70,000 drivers benefit from that. There are currently 200,000 private hire drivers around the UK who currently have the legal right to a pension and holiday pay, but currently don't have access to it. And that's what we in the GMB are calling for.
Well, in your statement this morning, you named two companies, Bolt and Addison Lee. Would it be any coincidence that they're your two biggest competitors in London?
So we're calling on every single operator in the UK to do right by its drivers and stand by the Supreme Court decision. Bolt and Addison Lee are two of the biggest companies, and therefore the decision that they make to move to give drivers workers' rights would benefit more drivers than if a small company did the same. So we're calling on everyone to move. We've particularly highlighted the bigger ones because that's what matters to drivers.
I assume then that you will be extending these rights to people who work for Uber Eats who don't enjoy them at the moment.
So we're absolutely committed to providing good quality, flexible work across both our Eats and our Rides businesses. But the legal frameworks within Rides, which is the taxi and private hire industry, and the courier industry are very different. So in June, Deliveroo was successful in the Court of Appeal, who ruled that couriers are not workers, as they don't have an obligation to provide services personally. So this is just as important. It's just as important that drivers doing the same work get the same rights across all operators they work with, and any changes for couriers must also apply across the whole delivery industry.
Thank you very much. Jamie Hayward from Uber.